Hello, guys and gals. I just posted a response video for the "What Would Ghost Do" scenario responses, and it got me to thinking about something because the lady in question, her ability to bug out was compromised due to serious health issues of a family member. And I've made comments before about my views on bugging out. I've got a couple of videos posted on that too, but I wanted to kind of touch base on it again and maybe give some options for people who do plan on bugging out and some different bug out type scenarios. I mean, if your plan when shit hits the fan is to bug out, the success or failure of bugging out is going to depend on how far you have to go, how you're planning on getting there, and how well prepared you are for it. I've seen many videos of people showing their bug out bags, and they're completely stocked full with ferro rods and batteries and knives and extra freedom seeds and all this cool tactical shit in a little bug out bag. Very few times do I see anyone's designs on water. Food really isn't that big of an issue if you're only bugging out a short distance. But here's the main thing. One of the main issues with bugging out. A lot of people have their bug out vehicles. They get the older ones that are supposedly EMP proof. Well, here's the thing: we've never really had an EMP detonated in a combat scenario before. So for all you know, nothing's going to work. Science points to the fact that older cars before computers and stuff will work, and hopefully they will. But here's another thing. Say you have an awesome EMP bug out vehicle and you're ready to bug out and you're the only guy in the neighborhood with a vehicle that works. Now you're a target, okay? So if your bug out plan is to go, say, from where you're at 15 miles out into the country or something, and your plan is to hop in a vehicle that you've already stacked full of food and water and stuff like that, and now you're going to travel 15 miles through maybe rough roads, where everybody else is freaking out, there's a damn good chance you're going to be a bullet magnet, basically, and a target. My suggestion for somebody who's bugging out, say you're only going 15 miles from where you are, my suggestion for someone that's bugging out is to plan on walking. Even if you've got a bug out vehicle, you should plan that either the entire trip, a portion of the trip, or half of the trip, you're going to be walking to get to your bug out location. Just go ahead and plan for that scenario. Plan that you're going to walk the entire way. And what I suggest you do, and this is something that I learned from the military, but I didn't know that I was learning it until I figured it out not too long ago. And for those of you that are veterans, you'll know when you would leave the barracks and say you were road marching to a training area, say you were going to the rifle range or grenade range or something, and it was, 5, 6, maybe even 10 miles from the barracks. You humped a decent load. I mean, if you're spending the night, you had your shelter halves and your sleeping bags and, a couple of MREs or whatever. If you were doing the MREs, lots of times when we go to training areas, if it was for an overnight deal, they would have, hot chow. But here's the thing. Every time we road marched anywhere, there was always water waiting. The water point was completely full. Always. There were several times where a hot chow didn't show up and we would go to the MREs or we would do without the food, but we never went without water. And that's really got me to thinking on the priorities of water. You can make it 3 weeks without food, but you're only going to go a few days without water. And even the military, that is top priority on all the training areas, on any basic training for around the country. If you're walking or you're humping or you're road marching, there's water waiting. They never once asked us to carry 4 or 5 gallons of water for the entire day that we were going to be out training, because a gallon of water is 3.8 pounds, or 8.3 pounds, 1 gallon. And if you're humping and moving, you're going to go through between 3 to 5 gallons of water, depending on the time of year and what type of terrain you're humping in. So if you're talking about, a gallon of water is 8.25 pounds, and you got to hump 5 gallons of water, say 3 gallons of water, that's 25 pounds of extra weight. So even the military saw the value of not burdening the soldier with that extra weight, and they would send somebody out in a Humvee or a container truck, and they would go out and fill up the water points. There's a water point at every single training area, and they filled those things up every single day. They kept them full. That's the importance of water. The same thing transitions to if you're bugging out. So what I suggest you do, number one, is you need to get online and get you a topographical map of your area, which encompasses where you're at and where you're going, and maybe even some surrounding areas. There are many websites. You can get them online. Some of the websites charge. Some of them you can actually get them for free. But I definitely suggest you get a really good military grade or USGS grade topographical map with a compass, not these cheap little ones they put on these bullshit knives, but an actual real compass, a decent compass and the map. What I suggest you do is if you're planning on bugging out, you need to go ahead and walk or drive your bug out route more than once, and you need to go ahead and stage caches with water I would say at least every mile. If you got the time and the energy and it's in the woodlines, I would say put a stash every half a mile. And put 3 to 4 to 5 times as much water in those caches as you would possibly need, simply because maybe you won't be able to find one, but you know where the next one is, or maybe you're going to have more people with you than you think you're going to have, or maybe you need to retreat back along that route back to where you came from, and almost like a gas station. Go out there and stage, put 10 gallons of water, a couple of cases of bottled water from Walmart, and create these caches every half a mile in between where you're at and where you're going to be going. And, make yourself a detailed map or memorize it or figure a way to mark these areas. Worst case scenario, I know this sounds stupid, but if you think about it, it really makes sense. Tattoo that shit on your thigh or your forearm or something. Tattoo the map on you and then disguise the tattoo with something else. Whether it's coordinates or whatever else, tattoo it. It's the end of the world. Who gives a shit if you got a stupid tattoo you don't like? I've got 7 or 8 of them right now that I don't like. But it would be really cool if one of these ugly tattoos that I didn't like actually got me where I needed to go. Then you don't have to worry about carrying a map and not letting it get destroyed or memorizing things. And that's just a suggestion that just popped into my head there, tattooing it on you somewhere. And if I had was intending on bugging out, I would definitely have some caches along the way. That keeps you from having to worry about, say if you're only going 5 miles, that's an easy day's walk in some rough terrain. You're gonna need to carry 25 pounds worth of water. That's not counting food, not counting all your other bug out stuff. So go ahead and set up some caches along your bug out route. Do it now. Drive your route, walk your route, set up some caches to where you've got water where you don't have to carry that extra weight. Because the lighter you are, the faster you are, the quicker you're going to be able to get there. That's just my suggestion, something that popped into my mind about bugging out. And I think it's really, really important. And people seem to overlook that fact when they're showing off the bug out bags. And don't get me wrong, those bug out bags are awesome. I think they're cool as shit. But take all that really cool stuff you put in that bug out bag that already weighs 40 pounds. Now add yourself 25 pounds worth of water. See what I'm saying? The more weight you carry, the quicker you're going to get dehydrated. You're going to need these caches. So that's just a tip from Ghost. It may warrant you're thinking about doing it. You may think it's complete and total horseshit. That's completely up to you. But if it was me, I'd have water all along the way to get to where I'm going. Maybe even throw some food in there, maybe even a couple of reloads, a couple of wool blankets, just simple things that may really save your life on the walk, because it may only be 5 miles from your house, but shit may be getting crazy the whole way along those 5 miles. So you need to plan for the worst. That's it for now. I may get another video out to you guys today. I may not. I'm working up another scenario right now. It's a pretty detailed one. Hopefully I get it all worked up and get it out for you sometime later today or tonight. Until then, like and subscribe. Please send me your scenarios, www.gdquestions@gmail.com. Thanks for your time. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, all that good stuff. Have a good one.